Welcome to all you Aquarians. Here's your monthly horoscope for May 2016, and it's a continuation of April. A lot of energies are a bit the same, but of course there are some other stuff going on which I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about Vesta, a little asteroid. I'm going to talk about Jupiter, the square of Jupiter with Saturn, and I'm going to talk about the beautiful grand Earth trine. So 3 trines are playing out, at the moment in Earth signs, and for you it's all in the water houses. So emotional stability for you Aquarians, isn't that nice? So let's start with that. So it's a continuation of April, but it's even better because the players in this trine are Mercury, Jupiter and Pluto. And especially Mercury. Mercury goes direct on the 21st and Jupiter goes direct on the 10th. So these 2 planets last month, they didn't. So in April they didn't. They were retrograde and now they're going direct. So that's beautiful because it's not only this beautiful energy flow, it's also everything goes forward. So you're growing on a very tangible way on an emotional level. So notwithstanding the fact that there will of course be Aquarians who have not an easy time at the moment, but even then they have that emotional strength, and that is because this Jupiter is in your 8th house, Mercury in your 4th, Pluto in your 12th, all the water houses. It's like you feel as if you are supported from somewhere that is from the divine, for instance, or from God, if you like. There is this kind of support that you feel, and you feel emotionally with the feet on the ground, and that's good because that makes you powerful. That makes you that you can deal with issues. You can deal better with stressful situations when you feel so emotionally mature and stable, and you're not going to make the drama, you could say. Not that Aquarians are drama queens, but unless you have maybe a moon in Leo or something like that. But there is this energy of being able to suit yourself, and that's very powerful. So that's, count your blessing, Aquarians. That's very positive for you. That Jupiter that was in the middle of, that is in your 8th house, and so in the middle of that beautiful water trine, that Jupiter is making a clash with Saturn. So there is a bit of challenge there as well in May for the whole month. It's the whole month that Jupiter actually clashes with Saturn. Jupiter is where we want to grow, Saturn is where we don't want to grow, so or where we feel restricted. And these planets are in itself already very clashing planets, you could say, but they are in an aspect that is all about finding the balance. So a square, an opposition, is always about how can we deal at its best to put these 2 energies into the world, into this world. So for you, this could have to do with, for instance, Jupiter is in your 8th house. So maybe you're expanding and growing when it comes to 8th house issues. Maybe you're thinking about exploring a bit deeper when it comes to the occult, or metaphysical side of life, or life after death, or psychological insights, and you're exploring and you're growing. But Saturn is there in your 11th house. Maybe friends are saying, what the hell are you doing there? And they're trying to restrict you. So that's one scenario, very simplistic, but could be the case. Or that you need to be a bit more responsible and real when it comes to your aspirations, but at the same time you want to grow when it comes to your strength, and when it comes to your knowledge about the non-tangible things in life, and you want to transform, could be the case as well. So, but very interesting, because in a square it means you must apply both. You must apply both of the energies. So, for instance, if you would only go for the Saturn energy, you would miss out the growth. If you would only go for the growth, you would miss out the stability. So it's like something is demanding from you to apply both. So whenever I see Jupiter and Saturn, it's slow growth. There is slow growth going on, but it's better like that. So don't try to grow too fast, and all will be well. But I think for you it's not that bad, because you've got this support on an emotional level, but can also be very realistic with your aspirations. So don't dream that you can be a ballet dancer when you're 38, for instance, things like that. And but also on an intimate level, you can, and on a psychological level, there is absolutely possibility for growth, possibility for of improving trust towards other people and towards yourself. And last but not least, there's something going on with Vesta, the little asteroid. And Vesta is, it's a little asteroid that is all about dedication, self-respect, focus. So that's what Vesta is all about. And it's included in the full moon on the 21st. It's an important full moon because 2 days after the full moon, Mercury goes direct. So there is clarity coming. And for you Aquarians, especially when it comes to your core, where you're coming from, where you're heading towards. And this insight, this culmination of consciousness, you could say, is happening in nice houses, in your 5th house and your 11th house. 5th house, the house of your own creativity, and the 11th house, friends, aspirations, aligning yourself with other people who are like-minded. So there can be, like, again, these two things that we need to balance out. So having your sun and Vesta, so that dedication towards 5th house, which is maybe your business, maybe your child, maybe your maybe romance. There could be, by the way, romance developing here. Maybe say you're single and there is maybe a friend that is becoming a bit more than a friend. That could be the case with this opposition here, this full moon on the 5th and the 11th house. And but there is this in the 11th house, there is the moon, there is Mars, there is Saturn, there is this demand for working hard to get what you want, which is going to intensify during the full moon, because the moon with Mars always shows strong emotions, strong desires, but Saturn is saying, hey, be real, make them real if you can. So there can be an aspiration that comes up, and but at the same time that there is also this devotion towards your own projects at the same time. So there can be this sorting these two things out. But I think for Aquarians in general, it's not a bad month at all. You know, I know there will be Aquarians who say, yeah, tell me something. But these are general horoscopes, of course. If you really want a personal horoscope, you need to go to an astrologer. But normally, in general, these flavors are quite nice for you Aquarians. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best. Enjoy that emotional stability for you Aquarians out there. And thank you for watching. See you next month. Bye-bye.